A man is seen as a mule that comes along the road one day and a woman hooks up her cart to him, and he spends the rest of his life carrying her around with all her kids, her dreams, her demands, and all her stuff. Sounds about right to me. In some of my previous videos, I've talked about how women easily leave men that aren't performing. I've mentioned how women's hypergamy and natural biological instincts for protection and provision that are probably rooted in protecting and providing for her, the valuable vessel that creates babies. She's not conscious of this in her decision making though. It's a primal instinct, just like the primal male desire for sex and women has men acting irrationally despite how much we know or educate ourselves to transcend that biology in us. Women will have them leaving husbands and boyfriends when his status changes. Her nature feels this. She can't articulate it like this. It would come off as too cold, being direct like this. Men would be disgusted. Men value honour, having each other's backs in war, hunting, building businesses, building architecture and buildings. The world, partnering with people where one's word, commitment, and the value of their character with proven, continual trusting results, and the results become physical in the world like a building or business or sports team, have one's esteem in the eyes of others as an unshakable fact to value, and you have the history to prove it. A man will largely seek to maintain this honour he's invested in others and in the world and in himself, and standing in the eyes of his peers and friends based on who he's promised to be. He's proud of his standing of being an honourable man and loyal to people around him, and that people can count on him. But not women, not much. The axiom with women is,
it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind.
Given women's fickle nature, that's proven time and time again as they change their emotions, desires and views, sometimes their whole lifestyle and who they are from month to year. Is it any wonder men are extremely weary of committing to a chameleon like this? True, in many cases she doesn't believe she's lying at the time, but as a man, why take the huge and idiotic risk of being responsible for protecting, providing, working oneself into the ground, losing one's hair, getting heart disease, working overtime, letting one's hobbies and dreams disappear, to do all these things for her and her kids? Given all this huge lifelong undertaking, why the fuck are women annoyed that men won't invest $1 million into something that could disappear tomorrow at her discretion? The stats show it. Men are not idiots. I'm sure every single man who stood on that altar with his future wife never thought for a second that it would end. But the stats show it does. 50% of divorces end on average in the West. Up to 80% of them are initiated by these loving, happily forever after wives. And so the stats show it does to men, overwhelmingly. So stop, ladies. Reality is laughably ridiculous and makes you look like children now when you keep shaming a man toward acting like a child. You know, there's this idea of foolishly building your house on quicksand, but today it's like building your house on fucking water. One may as well go to the casino. The odds are way better. Men used to throw their lives away, historically speaking, because they were honoured for it at the very least. Not much of a payment, I know, but what can you say about the simple and often cheap needs of men? But today, in an age where we're blamed for everything, where women are independent of men, don't need us for anything and make fun of us openly now, I'd be an idiot to be a blind traditionalist today. I've talked previously how women leave men in a heartbeat, where men are stunned that a woman could do it after all that he's done for her and the kids and the family and everything, and worked for it all in their relationship, all the trust, experiences, and the invested love and time that proves to him at least that this is solid and I ain't going anywhere. I can count on this. But she's only there not by her honour to stay, not through thick and thin, but as how she feels from day to day, and that's it. Now don't get me wrong, most women, if they don't have a guy lined up, will put up with a temporary speed bump, but their own short-term safety will always pull them back. If a man is treating her right in other ways, protecting and being a good husband, a provider to some degree, a doting yes man to her female nesting dream, sure, she'll probably stay if it's just temporary. Or if he loses his job, but she sees that he's desperate to find another one and he's afraid of being anything other than a workhorse provider for her and the kids, that's all he knows is his identity. He's scared to death of losing that. Then sure, she'll probably not go anywhere. But if a man who still loves her and the kids, nothing's changed, changes what he wants to do with his vocation and external interests in his life, just changes what he wants to be in life, not in relation to her, but just in relation to himself, or take a more minimalist approach to working and providing and taking more time for himself and living more healthy, then that gentleman is where it's almost always the case that she falls out of love and feels no shame in leaving, and she justifies how her heart needs something else, or she needs to find herself, or she's not in love anymore. She probably won't leave you when you've temporarily stumbled, but are still desperate to get back into your protective provider role. No, it's when you quit your lucrative job, when you've had a life change, when you've woken up, when you're Mr. Anderson coming out of the Matrix, and want to enjoy a little bit of life for yourself, and have woken up to maybe deciding only to work part-time and not as stressful, and have seen how you've been throwing away an excess amount of time and energy where you could be cutting back and enjoying yourself a little bit more in life. Or when you quit your $100,000 salary as a manager for a pay cut to become a barista in your local corner shop just because you simply love it. It's when you want to live a little more like her, a little more like a human being. I got off the blind workhorse treadmill years ago and work only as much as I need for a comfortable life, living only for myself. I often joke with one of my friends that when we catch up for a coffee on our days off, when others are working, we look around the coffee shop we're sitting in, and I swear, invariably, it's almost 100% women in the place. And we laugh because it's a cliche joke whenever we do catch up. There's all these women living it up, laughing with their kids and their girlfriends, connecting and enjoying life together, enjoying the permanent retirement that their husbands are probably providing. And as my friend and I, the exceptions I know, in that coffee shop, look around, I say, patriarchy? Yeah, my ass. These women were enjoying retirement, loving their lives, friends and kids, and living solely in their personal lives, living the dream, while their men have to continually sacrifice their personal lives all week so Pumpkin can sip lattes and eat breakfast with her girlfriend, and as they gossip about celebrities and shopping, and probably their good-for-nothing husbands who never do enough, while their husbands probably mow the lawn and do a lot of other shit on the weekend as well. I look around the coffee shop and reaffirm to my friend, I'm glad I'm not any of their husbands. I'm so glad to have this freedom. Go your own way, guys, and enjoy yours. Later.